It was a night of long balls and late-inning drama across MLB, from Eury Pérez's near-perfect gem for the Marlins nearly getting wasted in a 9-8 slugfest, to Rafael Devers going deep twice in a wild Rockies-Giants shootout. The Mets stormed into Atlanta and outlasted the Braves 10-9 in a wild slugfest that needed a nail-biting finish. New York leaned on Bo Bichet's monster day at the plate 3 for 5 with 3 RBI, while Tyron Taylor and A.J. Ewing each added a home run to fuel the offense. Atlanta countered with a solo shot from Drake Baldwin and a strong afternoon from Mauricio Dubon, who went 3 for 5 with an RBI, putting together a genuinely streaming-worthy line for fantasy managers. Nolan McLean was excellent on the mound for the Mets, working 6 innings and allowing just 2 earned runs while striking out 5 to pick up the win. But the 9th inning got dicey closer. Devin Williams needed only 2/3 of an inning to lock down the save, but with a 1-run margin, every pitch mattered. A 1:47 rain delay pushed this one past the 3-hour mark, but in the end the Mets held on for a hard-fought road win in front of 28,621 fans. The Pirates crushed the Nationals 11-5 in Washington, riding a 4-homer, 4-way power display. Brandon Lowe and Brian Reynolds both went deep for Pittsburgh, while Dylan Cruz and Luis Garcia Jr. answered with home runs of their own for the Nationals, but it wasn't enough to keep pace. Nick Gonzalez had a strong day at the plate for the Pirates, going 3 for 4. The game also featured plenty of action on the bases, with 4 total stolen bases. Curtis Mead, Jose Tina, and Luis Garcia Jr. each swiped a bag for Washington, while Connor Griffin ran wild for Pittsburgh. Gregory Soto came out of the bullpen and was outstanding, tossing 2 innings with just 1 earned run and 2 strikeouts to pick up the win. The Nationals' offense showed some pop, but too many free bases and too many long balls allowed them in front of 19,587 fans at Nationals Park. The Reds edged the Orioles 3-2 in a tight pitcher's battle in Cincinnati. Spencer Steer provided the difference with a home run, and it proved to be enough run support behind a sharp start from Nick Lodolo, who worked 6 innings, allowed just 1 earned run, and struck out 4 to earn the win. Baltimore got a strong individual effort from Blaze Alexander, who went 3 for 4, and Taylor Ward, Adley Rutschman, and Kobe Mayo also picked up hits, but the Orioles couldn't string together enough offense to overcome Cincinnati's pitching. Emilio Pagan slammed the door in the 9th, working a clean inning to secure the save. It was a crisp, efficient game, finishing in just 2 hours and 44 minutes in front of 17,601 fans, a reminder that in a low-scoring affair, 1 swing and 1 strong start can be the whole story. The Twins throttled the Yankees 6-1 in the Bronx, and the story was all about Joe Ryan's brilliant start. Ryan was dominant, striking out 9 over 7 innings while allowing 0 earned runs to pick up the win and set the tone for Minnesota's offense to do the rest. Wooksley backed him up at the plate, going 3 for 5 with an RBI to lead the Twins' attack. New York managed a handful of hits from Austin Wells, Ben Rice, Cody Bellinger, Jazz Kisham Jr. and Trent Grisham, but could never build any real momentum against Ryan's stuff, and the Yankees' lone run wasn't nearly enough to keep pace. It was a workmanlike, dominant road win for Minnesota in front of 39,155 fans, punctuated by one of the best pitching performances of the day. The White Sox and Guardians put on a home run derby in Cleveland, with Chicago escaping 7-6. 5 total home runs left the yard. Chase DeLauter and Gabriel Arias went deep for the Guardians, while Tristan Peters, Kyle Teal, and Carlson Montgomery all homered for the White Sox. Cleveland tried to make up the difference on the bases, with Kyle Watson swiping 2 bags of fantasy-relevant multi-steal game and Stephen Kwan adding one of his own, but the power from Chicago's lineup was too much to overcome. Eric Fed worked into the 6th inning, allowing 2 earned runs with 4 strikeouts to pick up the win, and Sean Newcomb closed things out with a 1.2-inning save to preserve the 1-run victory. A rain delay of nearly an hour and a half stretched this one out, but the White Sox left with a hard-earned road win. The Cubs held off the Cardinals 6-4 at Wrigley Field behind a balanced defensive effort. Jordan Walker gave St. Louis a jolt with a home run, but Chicago's lineup was steady enough to keep the lead. Pete Crow Armstrong was the biggest difference maker on the bases, swiping 2 bags in the win, a strong all-around, fantasy-relevant performance. Alex Bregman, Michael Busch, Dansby Swanson, and Nico Horner all chipped in with hits to keep the line moving throughout the game. Drew Pomeranz picked up the win out of the bullpen, and Jacob Webb worked 2 innings to close it out and lock down the save. It was a clean, efficient afternoon at Wrigley, wrapping up in just 2 hours and 41 minutes in front of 38,322 fans, as the Cubs used contact and speed rather than power to get the job done against St. Louis. The Royals took care of business at home, beating the Phillies 5-2 in a clean, workmanlike win. Kansas City didn't need the long ball. Instead, the Royals lean on situational hitting and speed, with Isaac Collins and Bobby Witt Jr. both stealing bases to manufacture runs. Carter Jensen, Salvador Perez, Michael Massey, and Lane Thomas all contributed hits to keep the offense moving. Leunder Avila turned in a solid start, working 5 innings and allowing just 1 earned run with 4 strikeouts to earn the win, and Alex Lange closed it out with a scoreless inning to secure the save. Philadelphia got hits from Gabriel Rincones Jr., Brandon Marsh, Justin Crawford, and Bryson Stott, but couldn't put together the big rally needed to climb back into it. It was a tidy 2-hour, 23-minute game in front of 14,891 fans, with Kansas City's pitching and situational hitting proving to be the difference. The Astros blanked the Rays 2-0 in a genuine pitcher's duel in Houston. Eury Pérez and Christian Walker both went deep to provide all the offense Houston would need. On the other side, Tampa Bay's Mason Englert was brilliant in a losing effort, striking out 9 over 5.2 innings. But it wasn't enough to overcome Houston's power. Peter Lambert matched him nearly pitch for pitch, tossing 5.2 shutout innings with 6 strikeouts to earn the win, and Josh Hader closed the door with a clean save. Jose Altuve chipped in a stolen base for the Astros, while Chandler Simpson and Ben Williamson each swiped bags for Tampa Bay. In the end, this one came down to 2 homers and a lockdown bullpen as Houston posted a tight, well-pitched shutout win in front of 29,003 fans. The Tigers went into Texas and left with a 6-3 win over the Rangers, powered by a huge day from Riley Green. Green went 3 for 4 with 4 RBI and a home run, single-handedly driving in most of Detroit's runs. Texas got solo home runs from Jake Burger and Ezequiel Duran, but couldn't match Detroit's offensive outburst. Casey Mize was excellent on the mound, working 6.2 innings and allowing just 2 earned runs with 4 strikeouts to secure the win, and Kenley Jansen closed it out with a scoreless inning for the save. It was a complete team effort for Detroit power, length from the starter, and a shutdown closer in a 2-hour, 45-minute game in front of 27,887 fans. The Rockies outlasted the Giants in a wild 7-6 slugfest at Coors Field. Rafael Devers put on a show, blasting 2 home runs for San Francisco, one of the day's headline fantasy performances, while Drew Gilbert had an even louder day at the plate, going a perfect 4 for 4 with 3 RBI and a homer of his own. Casey Schmidt also went deep for the Giants, giving San Francisco 3 home runs on the day. But Colorado had enough thunder to answer, getting a home run from Kyle Carros and a 3 for 4 day from TJ Rumfield to power the offense. Victor Vodnik picked up the win with a scoreless inning of relief, and Jordan Romano slammed the door with a clean save to secure it. Jonah Cox added a stolen base for San Francisco. In a game with this much offense on both sides, the Rockies needed every bit of their bullpen to escape with the win in front of 25,548 fans. The Brewers narrowly beat the Diamondbacks 3-2 in a tight, low-scoring affair in Arizona. Jake Bauers provided the difference with a home run for Milwaukee, and it held up thanks to a shutdown effort from the bullpen. Arizona's Geraldo Perdomo had a strong day at the plate, going 3 for 5, and also added a stolen base alongside Tim Tawa as the Diamondbacks tried to manufacture offense any way they could. Drew Rom picked up the win despite working just a third of an inning, and Trevor Megill closed things out with a scoreless inning to secure the save. Arizona's lineup managed hits from Tommy Troy, Kettle Marte, Corbin Carroll, and Pavin Smith, but couldn't scratch across enough runs to complete the comeback. It was a tense, well-pitched game that Milwaukee escaped with a 1-run win in front of 24,728 fans. Marlins survived a slugfest with the Athletics, escaping with a 9-8 win despite Eury Pérez turning in one of the best pitching lines of the day. Pérez was dominant through 7 innings, striking out 8 while allowing 0 earned runs, and was rewarded with the win even though Miami's bullpen made things interesting late. The offense did its part well before that. Heriberto Hernandez put together a huge day, going 3 for 4 with 2 home runs and 2 RBI, one of the standout fantasy performances of the day, while Otto Lopez matched him with the 3 for 4, 3 RBI day that included a home run of his own. Leo Jimenez also went deep for Miami, giving the Marlins 4 home runs on the afternoon. The Athletics didn't go quietly, getting a solo home run from Jonah Heim and a lineup that spread hits across Lawrence Butler, Zach Geloff, Joshua Kuroda-Grauer, Brian Serven, and Carlos Cortes to make this one a genuine slugfest. Eury Ruiz added a stolen base for Miami. In the end, a dominant start from Pérez and a 3-homer offensive outburst were enough for the Marlins to hang on for the win in front of just 8,686 fans. The Mariners blanked the Blue Jays 4-0 behind a dominant start from Emerson Hancock, who worked 7 shutout innings and struck out 5 to pick up the win. Mitch Garver provided some pop with a home run to help build Seattle's cushion. Josh Naylor, Victor Robles, Randy Arizona, Cal Raleigh, and Luke Raley all chipped in with hits to round out a complete team win for Seattle. Toronto's offense managed only a handful of hits from Ernie Clement, Nathan Lukes, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but never found any real traction against Hancock's stuff, and the Blue Jays bullpen couldn't stop the bleeding either. It was a quick, efficient game for Seattle, wrapping up in just 2 hours and 11 minutes in front of 37,415 fans, as the Mariners' pitching staff dominated from start to finish in a shutout win. The public beat the Dodgers out of Los Angeles, powered by Big Dave and Fernando Tatis, who went 3-5 with a home run many auto. San Diego also ran wild on the bases. Some Mun Song stole 2 bags in a strong all-around fantasy performance, while Machado and Tatis each added a steal of their own. J.P. Sears was excellent on the mound, working 5 shutout innings with 5 strikeouts to earn the win, and Mason Miller closed it out with a scoreless inning to secure the save. Los Angeles got hits from Kyle Tucker, Shohei Ohtani, Miguel Rojas, and Alex Freeland, but couldn't generate enough offense to keep pace with San Diego's speed and power combination. It was a complete team win for the Padres in front of a huge crowd of 46,506 fans at Dodger Stadium. The Red Sox outlasted the Angels 7-5 in a back-and-forth game in Anaheim. Los Angeles got a big day from Zach Neto, who went 3 for 5 with 2 RBI and a home run, and Joe Adell added a 3 for 4, 2 RBI day of his own to power the Angels' offense. But Boston had enough firepower to answer, with Wilson Contreras and Jarren Duran both going deep, and Masataka Yoshida chipping in a 3 for 5, 1 RBI day. The stolen base column was busy too, with Josh Lowe running for the Angels while Anthony Segler and Seth and Rafaela each swiped a bag for Boston. Greg Weissert picked up the win out of the bullpen, and Aroldis Chapman locked things down with a scoreless inning for the save. It was a wild, high-scoring night game that Boston pulled out late in front of 35,992 fans. It was a quiet day on the streak front around the league. No individual hit streaks or team win/loss streaks reached notable milestones worth flagging today. With a full slate of games in the books, keep an eye on tomorrow's action as several teams and hitters continue building towards streaks worth watching. Fantasy managers had plenty to like today. Rafael Devers and Heriberto Hernandez both went deep twice. Monster power performances worth chasing off the wire. On the speed side, Kyle Watson, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Sun Mun Song each swiped 2 bags, giving fantasy lineups a boost in stolen bases across 3 different games. And Mauricio Dubon turned in a strong 3 for 5, 1 RBI multi-hit performance worth monitoring if he's available. Plenty of 2-category performances to stream off of tonight. That's a wrap on today's action. Hit subscribe so you never miss a recap, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for more.